Bueno, yo creo que lo que esperamos, I can start giving the little intro here. Fabiana, thank you so much for being here with us today. And
Hi.
can you guys hear me? Sí, ¿verdad?
Yes, I can hear
Super.
you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited and happy to be here.
Yes. So, Fabiana, she is, besides being extremely nice and sweet and always willing to help, she is a transaction coordinator, which we all need, especially when our business starts to grow and we are like going crazy with so many different files and clients. I mean, that's the best case scenario, right? So she's going to share with us the do's and the don'ts during a transaction. Of course, we all know about the critical due dates and everything else that we have to keep in mind. But she's going to review everything step by step, things that, perhaps you didn't realize you were missing or things that are just going to keep you more on alert. So, Fabiana, thank you so much for being here with us. Please, as always, I encourage everyone to unmute yourselves, ask questions, be involved, because that's the best way of interacting and making these classes best, right? So everybody's any questions or anything is always cleared. So Fabiana, the platform's yours. Thank you.
Nice. Well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining today's meeting. I'm very excited to be here. Like Jenny introduced me, my name is Fabiana Torres. I am a transaction coordinator and team manager assistant. I'm also a certified loan partner too, and I've had experience with real estate and mortgages for 4 years now. My main focus is actually residential transactions, and at this point, I think I have closed like 650 transactions. So in the couple years that I've been working, I think I consider I've been and participated in a couple really good transactions. And still, let me tell you, every transaction is different. So you learn everything, you learn something new from every transaction. So this is why I think this training is very important, and you getting involved in the conversation is also very important and very encouraged. So yeah, this is my first time hosting a meeting for the club. We're going to talk about the do's and don'ts of a real estate transaction, but I want to go over why this is so important. So I've had the opportunity to work with several different brokers, realtors, and banks. And like I just mentioned, I still learn something new from every single transaction. There's nothing like the field, and I strongly believe that these experiences and opening up a conversation with other colleagues and realtors in the past, and just being able to have that support system in which we all can share how we have used our knowledge and creativity to handle some situations has been an invaluable resource for me. So we know that buying and selling a home is a big deal because it involves a lot of money, legal stuff, and obviously time. So we have to picture it like a journey. You want it to be smooth and good, right? That's why it is so important to know all the helpful things that you can do to ensure a happy and smooth closing, and also all the things that you want to avoid in a transaction. So if you don't know these do's and don'ts, I believe that can cause problems in your transactions. You might end up feeling stressed, you might end up spending a lot of money, or even facing legal issues with. We don't want to get to that. So when you understand these guidelines, you can make smart choices and protect yourself during the whole process. So in this talk, we're going to go over some of the things that you should take into consideration to make a transaction better, and all the things that you want to avoid to keep it from getting messy. Now, how can this impact your business? Jenny, I actually created a little presentation so everyone can also see. Do you mind if I like share my screen?
No, go ahead. I believe you do have the capability of sharing.
Perfect. Let me do that real quick. Let me see. Can you see my presentation? I think that'll be helpful.
Yep, that's new. It's right there, front and center.
Good. So, okay, we just went why it is important. Now I want to talk about how this can impact your business, like knowing the do's and don'ts. A smooth and successful transaction is not just about completing a deal. It's about ensuring financial security, emotional well-being, and a positive experience for both the buyers and the sellers, and in consequence, for all the parties involved. It sets the foundation for a new chapter, and it establishes a sense of satisfaction and confidence in the real estate journey, and to you as a professional representing your clients. It's all about navigating a journey that intertwines financial realities with dreams and aspirations, where well-informed decisions can become your greatest allies. So Well, I'm sure we can all agree on that. Now, I just want to ask you, has anyone ever heard the term transaction coordinator, or has anyone ever worked with one? If y'all want to participate.
Yes, of course.
Good,
Makes
good.
life.
Good, good, Jenny. Great. So, well, I just want to introduce my role into the transactions as well. As a transaction coordinator, I like to call myself a second pair of eyes in the transaction or a partner for my agents. So, in the complex world of real estate transactions, where every detail matters and timelines are critical, there's a behind the scenes orchestrator, which would be me in this case, the transaction coordinator. You have to think of them as the organizers who make sure that all the paperwork, deadlines, and communications work together smoothly. So we're all responsible for the administrative tasks involved in a real estate transaction. We are responsible for helping agents remain in full compliance with the broker and the state laws regarding documents and procedures. And we also handle paperwork, track all contract deadlines, monitor status of loans, inspections, repairs, appraisals, and just keep everyone involved in the transaction very well informed in order to ensure a successful closing. So,
Fabian, I'm sorry. It looks like we are still on the first page of your presentation. I'm not sure if you're changing slides.
no, yes, we're here. We're gonna go there and over the do's and don'ts.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. So, well, as we talk about the do's and don'ts, I also want to talk about how a TC can step in your transaction and help you out. So, yeah, let's go with the first one. The first do that I want to talk about is do your research and due diligence. This is very important. Research the market conditions and property values in the area. Investigate the background of the property, including any legal issues or zoning regulations. A TC will provide support in property background checks by obtaining essential documents related to the property. This can include the title deeds, surveys, a lien search, and any historical data that might impact the transaction. Your TC can act as a central point in communication, ensuring that you, the agent, and all the parties are promptly informed of any updates, issues, or progress in the research and due diligence. A TC can also help communicate and facilitate communications for you with your clients, keeping you informed and addressing any concerns related to the research findings. And by handling all of these aspects, a TC can allow you, the agent, to focus on providing expertise in negotiations, client relations, and strategic decision making. This collaboration effort contributes to a smooth, efficient, and overall more successful transaction. I don't know if you have any questions on this one, or we can have a little Q&A session at the end, but well, feel free to raise your hand and participate if you want to add something. Another one, get pre-approved for a mortgage. This is very important. You have to encourage your buyers to get pre-approved for a mortgage to strengthen your negotiation position. I always encourage my agents to send out their pre-qualification letters along with their offers. This just gives you a better presentation for the seller. Sellers should be aware of the buyer's financial possibilities and capabilities, and this is very important for the listing agent as well. So a TC can help you coordinate communications between buyers, lenders, and other parties to ensure smooth pre-approval process. They can also assist in gathering necessary information for the lender, such as addendums and conditions. This is key. Me personally, having experience with mortgages, I find it very, very helpful for clients, especially when they can rely on us for conditions and other documents in the bank. Do you have to remember that buyers are not aware of anything related in the field? They are not even aware of the terms or anything like that. So this also provides for a really good experience for them and a good experience with you as their representation. Let's go with another one. So do review property disclosures. Thoroughly examine property disclosures provided by the sellers. This is very important. Your TC will handle and collect essential paperwork for you to review with your buyer, but it is very important that you check this in every transaction if there's a seller's property disclosure. Let's go with the next one. So do inspect the property. I've had people declining to do the inspection. So it's very important that you do consider doing the property inspection. You have to conduct a thorough inspection of the property before finalizing the transaction. This includes the general inspection, 4-point, wind mitigation, septic tank, termites, or any other inspection that you might find you need for the property. This is for you and for the buyer, and this can help you a lot in the transaction and with your reputation, and to avoid other issues that might arise at the end. So I also encourage a final walkthrough. We'll go over that as well, but that's another inspection that I do encourage. So you want to do that to ensure that the home is properly functioning and that everything is completed, all the repairs and everything that you need to close. You might also want to do the inspection to identify potential issues that might require repairs or impact the property value. Always review and explain the inspection report with your buyers. They are trusting you as your representation. They do not know about the repairs or property, and they find it everything to. Then your TC can assist you in scheduling the inspections, ensuring all the parties are aware of the inspection timelines, help you review the inspection report, write down addendums for you, follow up on repairs, and make sure that necessary documents are prepared for review, like a seller credit that you want to send to the bank or the title company. Let's go to another one. Consider HOA rules. This one is also very important. I've seen agents who have had transactions just being delayed because they didn't complete an application for their buyers. And applications can take up to 2 weeks, I've seen at times. So this is very important that, starting the transaction, you want to ask your HOA for all the rules and regulation. You have to be aware and understand any rules or restrictions imposed by a homeowners association. And your TC can also help you requesting important information from the HOA, such as these rules, and also start the application process for your buyers. They can help you filling out the application, advise them on how to send out the fees, and just get everything started moving and running for you to close on time in the transaction. Another one, it's very important that you have a clear contract. So ensure that the terms and conditions of the deal are clearly outlined in the contract. This can include credits, contributions, or any specific terms. And understand all clauses, deadlines, and responsibilities to avoid misunderstandings. This is very important. A TC is someone who's skilled at managing paperwork. They can ensure that contracts are complete, accurate, and submitted on time. They can also help coordinating the flow of documents between parties. And finally, a TC can also help you track all the deadlines, the important deadlines in the contract. So you don't miss out on the escrow money deposit, the inspection deadline, a loan approval, etc. Ensuring your transaction is ready to close on time and everything is running in time as expected by your clients. This is very, very important. Let's do another one. So understand closing costs. Familiarize yourself with closing costs to avoid surprises at the end. The first 24 hours of a transaction are crucial. Once you get a fully executed contract, the clock starts ticking, and the first two deadlines come up, which are the escrow money deposit and the inspection. So I like to start by sending out welcome emails to formally introduce the parties involved and start by requesting wire instructions, confirm inspection appointments, and send out the contract to title and the bank. By the time we are reaching the first deadline, which is the escrow, which is usually between the first 3 days, the buyers already have all the numbers from the bank and everyone is already working, and we have less of a chance of the transaction falling apart. So this is very important. Another attend the final walkthrough. This is what I was talking about before. I highly encourage that you do a final walkthrough. A TC can help you schedule the appointment, gather access and utilities information for you and for your buyers, follow up on the inspection, and send out an assistance addendum for your own protection. So some of the agents that I've worked with, they don't know about final walkthrough addendum. This is a document that I like to send out for you for your protection. The document basically states that this is a re-inspection, not a formal inspection. Access to the property was provided and utilities were also provided. And I like to have this signed by the buyers for your protection in the future, okay? And then this is the last one for the do's that I have at this moment. Communicate effectively. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Communication is key. So now that we have reviewed all the do's, I don't know if I'm going a little bit too fast, but I want to ask if anyone wants to participate or if you want to add another do, anything that I might have missed out at this very moment.
I actually do have a question for you. Do you provide like a checklist, just informing obviously everyone of the critical due dates and everything else that has to everyone just keep in mind and keep on their agendas? Do you provide like almost like a weekly update as well? How does this work for like the communication part of things?
Yes, I actually do. So I rely very heavily on my agenda and my calendar. I like to set up all the important dates. Once I get a new contract and I send out the welcome emails, I will send out a little box with all the important deadlines. And I also include those on the calendars. So I have reminders for myself and for my agents. I share the events with my agents to their email, and all they have to do is literally accept, and a notification will pop up for them. So depending on what it is, let's say the escrow money deposit, I might set up a reminder for a day before it ends, or the inspection period. I might set a reminder for a day before it ends. So we can all, keep in mind that we have to review the report, review the addendum, and have everything signed and sent out to the other party. And yeah, that's basically what I do. And I do obviously do weekly updates. I'm usually very much in communication with my agents all the time. They can always reach me, via phone or via text or via email. I like to CC them on all communications as well. Like the emails, they're always CC, they're always informed and on the same page. This is for them also to be, prepared for any questions that their clients might have. I don't want them to feel like I'm just handling everything and they don't know what's going on. I want you to know what's going on. So yeah, those are the things that we do. But whenever they request an update, I can have that at hand. I do have my own like little checklist and my own like way to track when things are getting done and last updates. So yes, communication is very important to me. This is a team. So yes.
Thank you, Fabiana.
You're very
Okay.
welcome. Okay, let's move on to the don'ts. So don't skip the home inspection. Very, very important. So like I was mentioning, in all of the transactions that I have done, I think like 2 or 3 times, it's a really small number, but it has happened that people just decline. They don't want to do the inspection. So whether it is because you don't want to do the inspection because you don't consider you want to do it, or you have a difficult client, which has happened, I still strongly encourage you to do the home inspection. If they totally refuse to do the inspection, I would encourage you to write an addendum or have a document signed for your own protection. This has come in handy, actually. So I've had situations in which, me and the agent, we have to figure out a ways to protect yourself as well. So yes, the home inspection is very important. And if you decide not to do a home inspection, please be protected, because this is a time where you want to know the actual conditions of the house, if you want to negotiate anything, if the house will fall apart, if you are going to have an issue with the insurance, if you're going to have an issue with the appraisal or the loan at any point. This is extremely important. So
So
I
what you're saying is like, okay, so if somebody declined to do the home inspection, because honestly, they don't honestly care. They don't care to do an appraisal. They don't care to do an inspection because that has happened. So
Mhm.
what you're saying is like you highly suggest for the agents to still go ahead and do the inspection. Obviously, this will be an out of pocket because at this point it will be our protection. What do you do with that inspection report? Do you still provide it to the buyer and say, hey, listen, I know you didn't want to get it done, but it's still here? Or how do you suggest?
No. So I like to advise the parties of the importance of an inspection report, and I want to encourage you to do the same. If the client still refuses to do the inspection report, I've had situations in which we have decided, okay, but like we have to do something about it. We know it is extremely important and it's something that is actually very delicate. So what I've had done in the past is create addendums or create a document disclosing, that the buyer refused to do the inspection, blah, blah, blah. They understand consequences, et cetera, et cetera. And we have that sign. That's for you and your protection. And that's something that has helped us in the past. That's also another reason why I think this conversation is very important. You want to maybe ask your colleagues whenever you have situations like this, and you want to have that support system to see, how they have handled situations like this in the past. So that's my experience and my suggestion. But yeah, you can feel free to do an inspection report and have it come out of
Yeah,
your
I
bank.
think that the addendum, like you're mentioning, I think that's actually a very good idea, just to include that on the file. Because if they don't want to do it, okay, that's it's, buy pretty much buy at your own risk type thing, you know?
Correct, correct. Yes, but you always want to be protected and you always want to have things on paper, written, signed if possible. That's very important. That's why I heavily rely on emails too. I want to keep all communications, everything is clear. And even if I do like a call and let's say we're talking to the buyer and they say, no, I don't want to do this, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to do the inspection. Okay, we follow up with an email or we follow up with a document somehow. So you have that in record. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Okay, another. Don't disregard repairs. That's for the seller. The seller should not ignore the repairs and improvements when listing a property. Neglecting maintenance can reduce the property's values and actually can keep you from getting buyers getting under contract. So yes, that's another one. Another don't that I want to talk about is don't disregard contingencies. Okay, this one's very important. Buyers should be cautious about waiving important contingencies, such as the home inspection or financing, like we were mentioning. These provide essential protections in case any issues may arise. Your TC will stay on top of these contingencies and deadlines, not only for your reputation, because it can be at risk, but also your client's money. Sometimes people just don't understand that. But yes, if you miss out on a contingency, your escrow money deposit could be at risk. So that's why it's very important that we go over all the deadlines and we're very aware and we're making smart decisions all throughout the transaction. Another one, don't neglect legal matters. That one's very important. Avoid overlooking legal aspects such as property titles, contracts, and local regulations. Failure to address legal matters can result in complications and disputes. So yes, your transaction coordinator will obviously help you manage the flow of the legal paperwork in the transaction, but they will also advise for you to review property records in your county property appraiser on the websites, and you want to make sure that everything is submitted accurately. So just keep that in mind as well. In regards to, for example, the escrow money deposit, let me give you an example. So I'm currently having a dispute with another agent. We have a transaction and we have a dispute for the escrow money deposit. It's very important that we have this conversation open. We are having this dispute for a situation that has never happened to us before, and we're heavily relying, on our broker. We're relying on the team. We're discussing options. You just want to have your support system and do not neglect legal matters. We're probably going to have to go with attorneys even, but we want to avoid that situation. It's obviously not the best, but yeah, it's very important that you follow deadlines and that you follow contract contingencies so you don't fall into anything like that. On our side, and in this transaction that I'm mentioning, we did comply with all the deadlines and all the contingencies. The seller is still fighting that. So yeah, this is why it's very important. We have those like tools to win the case and the argument and save the buyer's deposit. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, so another one, don't overlook the neighborhood. Buyers should not overlook the importance of the neighborhood. There are several factors like safety, schools, amenities that can significantly affect the property's long-term value and the quality of life. You also have to think about equity. And don't overprice the property. So sellers should avoid overpricing the property. A property priced too high may linger on the market and can potentially be deterred, resulting in a lower final sales price. So you don't want to get into that. So I just wanted to mention that every real estate transaction is unique, and these do's and don'ts should be considered as general guidelines. Consulting with a real estate professional and legal advisors can also provide a personalized advice based on specific circumstances, which is why I'm mentioning, for example, this escrow money deposit situation. It's a very particular one, and the seller is still fighting it. Well, we're involving now brokers, a team, we're title companies. We're trying to get all the advice so we can do and resolve things in the best way possible. So I don't know if you want to have any questions or if you want to include anything Any experience that you might have, any don'ts that you want to share?
Hi, I'm Madeline Cowley from Colfax. Um,
Hi, Madeline.
Usually, hi. Thank you so much for your presentation. Very accurate and down to earth. I wanted
Thank
to ask you something. Usually, there is like a rank in prices depending on the amount of transaction. Can you
Uh-huh.
explain that?
I'm sorry, your sound just cut a little bit. Can you please rephrase that or
Yeah.
repeat your question?
Depending on the price of the transaction, there is a rank in the price that the coordinator charges. How does it work here?
I I'm so sorry. It's just the sound, but I think you're asking about the transaction coordinator fee.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Well, I was gonna go over that at the end, but now that you're asking, I have three different fees. Usually just charge a fee. It's at closing. Once you get your commission and once everything closes, that's when I charge the fee. Um, I have a fee for a cash transaction, a different fee for a lender transaction, and a different fee if it's a dual. Dual means that you're representing both the buyer and the seller. But to answer the question, it's just one fee charged at the end and charged when you close. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So your fee doesn't depend on the amount of the closing price.
No,
Or it's
no,
no,
it's one fee.
So it's a flat
flat.
fee.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a flat fee, correct.
Let me ask you,
Okay,
you said
beautiful.
when it closes. What about those situations when the transaction doesn't close for whatever reason?
Yeah,
What
well,
happens then?
it depends.
Uh,
I usually have to I usually like to do like different timelines. Let's say if we get up to 1 day before the transaction closes, there are like some fees that might be charged, but no, never a full fee. And I also have like a grace period in which I will not charge anything. So if the contract doesn't go through uh after I mean within the inspection, nothing is charged. I mean it's the same as you are. Mhm. But the
Wonderful.
full fee is charged at closing. That's all it is.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Does anybody else have any questions? I mean, it's really nice that to know that you'll have that additional support and like you call yourself, you know, your what is it that you say, agent's assistant or
A partner.
a partner. There you go. So at this point, you're like being our right hand, you know, through the transaction because sometimes when you're juggling more than one, I mean, hopefully that's the case, and you're juggling more than one client and you're going through the transactions, you can get the dates mixed up and or you can miss something and it definitely is worth the price.
Thank you. Yes,
Anybody has any questions?
yeah, I've actually seen my agents' businesses thrive by working with a partner because we'll go over that in a few minutes, but yeah, basically just having a second pair of eyes in your transactions is very, very helpful. They can just get people under contract and let somebody else take care of that, handle everything, just as if it was you handling your own transaction. So you have more time to do other things. You have time to do other revenue activities like getting more contracts, showing properties, just networking, meeting new people, just getting more contracts, and you can guarantee a stable flow for you in the month. Because like I mentioned, once the contract is fully executed, time starts ticking and you have to start working on all of these things to make sure that the transaction will actually close in time and that you will get paid, of course. So I think well, all of my agents, all the people that I've worked with, find it very beneficial to work with a TC. But thank you, Jenny. Thank you for that. Okay, let's go over. So just remember that a TC will assist you through the life of the transaction, serving as your dedicated support partner who is equally, if not more, committed to the timely and satisfactory completion of each transaction as you are. Your TC becomes a key player of your team and operate as an administrative and supportive resource for you and your clients, extending as much care and considerations to your clients as you do. So let's talk about some of the benefits. Working with a TC helps you simplify your transactions. Like I just mentioned, your time is better spent on income-producing activities, such as finding your next deal. So here are some of the benefits of working or partnering up with a TC. The first one will be you take tasks of your to-do list. You let me handle all your non-revenue generating tasks, such as calls, emails, data entry, which while effectively managing your paperwork and deadlines. So if you reduce screen time, you have more face time with prospective clients. Another one, you can get your time back. You allow me to take care of your current clients during business hours, and that frees you up to show houses in the field or attend other events like networking events or any broker activities that might actually help you get more clients. Another benefit is that I have, for example, personally seasoned experience in real estate and mortgages with my 4 years of experience. So I bring a wealth of knowledge to the table. And if you let me, I can provide valuable administrative and transaction support with that as well. And for your clients. And that's also very helpful for them. Another one is that you stay compliant. You can have peace of mind knowing that I will oversee the completion and signing of all the documents by all parties, ensuring broker compliance. So that's very nice for you. You don't have to worry about all the paperwork and administratives. You can go out in the field and just do what you do best and just wait for your commission check at the end, which is after all the months of working with a client, it's very, very important. And finally, I also provide language negotiation support. I am bilingual. I speak Spanish, and well, here in Florida, that's very helpful. Most of the clients that I've worked with personally are Spanish speakers. They don't know English, so it helps them very much to count on me. And I've also had the opportunity to work with other agents that do not speak English at all, but they thrive in this business. So I provide language and negotiation support for them as well. And yeah, for any issues that may arise during the transaction, this is very helpful. So yeah, basically that's what I wanted to go over in this presentation. I have successfully closed, like I mentioned, about 650 transactions at this point, remotely, maintaining broker compliance. And I just find it very important to talk about the do's and don'ts in a transaction because, like I mentioned, every transaction is different. Every transaction is a different story. And just having the support system or just opening up the conversation with your broker, your colleagues, other realtors can actually be very helpful for you in your transaction. You don't want to rush things. You want to, make smart and effective decisions during obviously the time frames that you have to do that. But you want to make sure that you're taking the right steps in your transactions in order for you to protect your reputation, your buyer's escrow money deposit, and yeah, just ensuring you have a smooth and happy transaction for everyone. At the end of the day, what we want is to provide the best customer service to our clients and to the agents, myself. And yes, that's basically what it is. And I hope we can get a lot of referrals with a good experience. So thank you so much for that. I don't know if you will have any questions or if you want to add anything else to the conversation.
But it's important. It's important. The last thing you just said, when we think that it's only us as agents that have that, obviously keep up with that image for our clients to give us the referral. But when we work as a team and then they see a team behind us, and in this case, we have you as a TC, then they see the communication flow and they see how responsive we are and how professional we are. It also gives the client a different perspective on who we are as professionals within the industry, and it helps set us apart versus like, oh my God, I haven't heard back from my agent. I don't know what's going on. And this right here, right now, just provides the client that reassurance that we are all working for them, and it gives us a better look. And at the end of the day, better reviews and of course, more referrals. So yes, thank you for that, Fabiana.
No, I agree with you, and that's a very important point because I mean, obviously, you as agents, you're busy in the field. Sometimes you're showing houses, sometimes you're driving, sometimes you're taking other calls, sometimes you don't have signals. I have realtors in Orlando that are working in, places a little bit more far away from Orlando, and they just don't have good signal. They're working with new constructions or stuff like that. So they do appreciate me being there for their clients, and their clients know that if they can't reach the agent, they will talk to me and I will have an update for them, or I will have answers, or I can provide assistance to them, just like as it was their agent. So that's very important. I think that's something very helpful for them. I like to keep open communications with the buyers as well. We do WhatsApp groups, we do text messages, text groups. I mean, whatever works for the buyers. Like I'm telling you, every transaction is different, and I like to keep it as personalized as possible. So whatever works for the buyer best and for the agent is crucial to me, and it's very important. And yes, thank you for that insight, Jenny. I do agree with that, and it is very helpful.
Yeah, I really think that a transaction coordinator is a must. It's like a guardian angel in all our transactions, and it's really very good to have it. So thank you so much for your presentation, knowing that we can use you in any further transaction that we will have. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Madeline. I
Jenny.
appreciate that. Thank you so much. And it would be my pleasure to join you in your next transactions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Fabiana, do you have that list of pricing? Do you have that on the slide so we can all just take note of that?
I don't have it on the slide, but I can send it to you with all my tasks and checklist. I have a document, obviously, with the prices, the 3 fees that I just mentioned, and a detailed task and checklist so you can see all of the things that I can do for you in the transaction in full detail.
Amazing. Yeah, that would be great. I'll share that on the club's chat.
Thank you so much. I'll send it over to you.
Bueno, thank you so much, everyone. Is there anything else, Fabiana, you want to add to this or?
No,
No?
thank you so much for
Okay.
having me. It was a pleasure being able to host for the club. And yes, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I will send you all the information. And thank you again for tuning in. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for participating on today's class. Have a wonderful day. Ciao.
Bye.